posture. Remembering that it doesn't have to compare to anybody else's or even where you were last week or the week before, but rather the body you have right now, what is the most comfortable position your body can be in order to facilitate an elongated spine. And then some of us, it takes a lot of effort just to do that much. And so, keep at it. You're doing a great job. Keep that effort up, even though you might be exhausted, lethargic, depressed, etc. Right? That energy. And some of us, we try a little too hard. I'm in that school, which is why I'm laughing. That's where I am a majority of the time. I can go to the other school too, but usually I'm a little too eager. So what can we soften? And bring your awareness to the eyes. It can be very helpful to start to soften the muscles around the eyes. And even imagine looking through those eyes with kindness. Bring the awareness to the inside of the mouth. We talk a lot about softening the jaw and the tongue. Those are two of the biggest, easiest ones for us to feel and soften. But can you soften your upper palate, your gums? Imagine even that you could soften your teeth. And then bring the awareness to the very back of the mouth. And think of that softening and widening as if you were taking a yawn. Bring your awareness deep into your right shoulder, right where that joint comes together. The upper arm bone, the shoulder blade, the ribs. And think about that area deep, deep down in the socket, softening. So again, we're in the right shoulder, deep in the socket, trying to soften everything from right around that ball and socket joint all the way out through the muscles, the fibers, the tissues, ligaments, tendons, you name it, all the way towards the skin. And then bring the awareness over to the left shoulder. And the same idea there. Go deep, deep into the left shoulder. And from the inside out, begin to soften. And take just a moment with your awareness in both shoulders at the same time to the best of your ability. Notice their softness. And if they got tense again, that's okay. Just soften them again. Bring the awareness down into your hands. And again, go deep into the hands and the fingers, down to the bones and all the joints. And from the inside out, begin to soften your hands and fingers. You might hover for a few moments with your awareness in your palms. It's a place that many people can sense the energy of their body. And so we all are made of energy, vibrational energy, because we use our hands so much. The mind has many, many, many neurons that fire to those hands and have a really good sense of touch and feel through the hands. So maybe you can sense the energy in the palm of your hands. Bring the awareness into your right hip, right in at the joint, deep within. And soften your right hip from the inside out. And bring the awareness into the left hip and start to soften the left hip and deepen the socket from inside out. And anytime the mind wanders off, that's all right. Just bring it back and join us wherever we are. Sensing both hips at one time. Trying to maintain that softness and deep within. And bring that awareness up into the bowl of your pelvis. And all I mean is the pelvis that consists of the hips and the sacrum on the backside, etc. It's kind of like a bowl. As a matter of fact, pelvis in Latin translates to basin, which is a bowl. So go deep within that bowl of the pelvis and just start to soften. You've got a lot of organs in there. Can you actually soften them? I'm not sure, but it doesn't hurt to try. Right, so softening from deep within the pelvis, all the way out towards the skin, towards the pubic bone, the perineum, and up into the top of the abdomen, behind you, etc. Right, all sides. And we'll go up into the center of the thoracic cavity. And that's about where your heart is, we'll say. So again, from deep within, imagining that you could soften even your organs, every single cell in the body can soften. From the inside of the chest all the way towards the front, the back, out to the sides. And taking a moment, remembering what it's like to feel love. You don't have to make that really complex or convoluted, just simple love. And I have yet to meet someone who meditates. I'm sure they exist. I have not met them yet, who is not a little bit of a lover. So we give a lot of love to other people. What happens if we give some of that love to ourselves this morning or whenever you're doing this video? and turn that towards ourselves. And then just becoming aware that our sensory field, I'll call it, goes so much further than the edges of our skin. Right? So if you're feeling light, that's coming from outside of the body, you're sensing that, right? Even with your eyes closed. If it's from the sun, it's from millions of miles away. Maybe you're sensing sounds. And maybe some of them are there next to you, but maybe you can start to expand and notice that there's a field of sound. And some of those sounds might be coming from miles away. And so again, just realizing that our sensory field lies so far outside of our skin. And expanding out into that if that seems like a safe place to be today. And with that knowledge that we're so much broader than just this body, let's come back to the body a little bit, but we're going to pull energy in and out in a very specific way. You know, when you really talk about the main nadi or energy channel, much like a meridian in Chinese medicine, being the shushumna, which lines up with our spinal column. So now every time you inhale, I want you to imagine that you're taking energy from the space above you. It can be as far away as 12 galaxies, 50 galaxies, right? Or it can just be just above the space, whatever you're comfortable with. But every time you inhale, pull in energy from outside of the body, through the crown of the head, all the way down that main energy channel, the Sushumna, all the way down through the tailbone and into the earth. And then when you exhale, you're going to pull that energy back up from the earth through the tailbone. And it's going to rise all the way up through the spinal column, through the crown of the head, and out of the body. Right, so it's this exchange of energy. Every time you inhale, you're bringing energy from above you. I'm going to call it cosmic energy down through your main energy channel. You can think of it traveling through the spine, through the tailbone, down into the earth. And every time you exhale, you're pulling energy up from the earth. And again, that can be the center of the earth if you'd like it to, wherever that is for you, or it might just be just the ground right underneath you. Whatever feels right today. You pull it all the way up through that spinal column, up through the crown of the head, and out the body. And just one little add-on, if it makes sense. When you exhale and you're pulling that energy up from the earth, I want you to really gently pull your pelvic floor. That's so gentle, friends. Pull the pelvic floor up like you're pumping, helping pump that energy up through all of your chakras, we call them, right? Your energy centers, the main ones anyway, on the spine. And when you inhale, you release that hold of the pelvic floor as you bring the air back down. And just continue to breathe in that way. You can follow that line of energy and concentrate on it. Give the mind something to focus on. Go ahead and put either hand just above your navel on the solar plexus. And just rest your hand there for a moment. If you like to work with colors, right, or images, you can imagine that you have a beautiful golden yellow sphere, the sun, right in front of the spinal column behind your hand, and it's spinning and emanating that beautiful golden yellow light throughout your solar plexus, and you can even let it move throughout the rest of the body and through every cell, even outside of your body. But with your hand resting there, and with all of that energy we just pulled through that spinal column, through the Sushumna, we're sitting up nice and tall. Maybe our chest is open. Maybe we can remember to try to find confidence in who we are in this world. We don't have to please other people. Even if our opinions aren't agreed with by other people, that's okay. We're not here to make other people comfortable. We're not here to be an asshole. That's not what I'm saying. But we can be confident in who we are, and we can actually let that come out into the world and let it be known that this is who we are. We can draw boundaries and say no. And also this idea of, turning inward to get some of our support system instead of relying on everybody around us. I'm not saying we can't get contact and support from others. That's a very healthy thing to do. But I think one of the healthiest things that we can do is find that within ourselves as well. Now bring your hands together in front of the heart, Anjali Mudra. The thumbs move gently towards the heart. Let the heart, that loving heart, move forward towards the thumbs. Inhale into all the space in the lungs. Exhale, bowing the head in. Bowing our head towards our heart, right? Remembering to always, always check in with our heart every time we make decisions, and to make decisions from love and abundance and not from fear and scarcity. Namaste, friends.